Good evening and Shana Tova. It's truly an honor to stand before you on this Kol Nidre for the first time as your synagogue president. I am proud to serve, and I'm even prouder of Bethel. I've always taken great pride in being Jewish, but perhaps never more so than in this past year. I was born and raised in a small town in Massachusetts where we had around 200 Jewish families, and later moved to New York City to a building that had around 200 Jewish families. I've always felt deeply proud to be both Jewish and American. If you had asked me whether I was Jewish first or American first, I would have struggled to understand the question. Part of me still does. I spent a lot of time in Newport, Rhode Island, and I've always been moved by President George Washington's written words to the Jewish community there in 1790 after visiting America's first synagogue. He wrote in a letter, and I quote, "For happily the government of the United States, which gives to bigotry no sanction, to persecution no assistance, requires only that those who live under its protection should demean themselves as good citizens, giving it on all occasions their effectual support." Yet despite my deep love for this country, this past year has shaken me to my core. The anti-Semitism on the left, the neo-Nazis on the right, the hatred and smearing of Israel, it has made me feel isolated and at times even afraid to live as a Jew in America in the year 2024. It's unthinkable. I now tragically understand the question, am I Jewish first or American first? And if I was pressed this past year, I would have often said that I am Jewish first. This realization shocks and terrifies me. I don't want to have to choose, and I certainly don't want anyone else choosing for me. Deborah Upstadt, the United States Special Envoy to monitor and combat anti-Semitism, reminds us, and I quote again, "The Holocaust did not begin with killing. It began with words. If we allow anti-Semitism to flourish unchecked, we risk descending into the same darkness that consumed Weimar Germany." How do we fight this darkness? Well, Rabbi Shulman has taught us that the best response is to live as proud and engaged Jews, to be pro-Semites, right here in America, right here in San Diego, right here at Bethel. So I thank you all so deeply for being here tonight in the Jacobs Community Hall, or online, or in the Turk Plaza. In stunning La Jolla, California, our people have endured over 2,000 years of persecution, the last year being sadly just a profoundly difficult one of many. But it's nothing short of a collective, familial, and personal miracle that we're all here this evening. Justice Brandeis once said, "To be good Americans, we must be better Jews, and to be better Jews, we must become Zionists." I deeply agree, but I'd like to add that we must also become better members of Bethel. One of our pillar members recently shared with me why his family gives so generously. He says, because synagogues are a factory that makes Jews, and not just Jews, stronger Jews, more informed Jews, more connected and more joyful Jews. I stand before you in awe and gratitude to this community. The generosity of time and treasure has been wondrous, and I know that I stand on the giants who built this synagogue, many of whom were just on this bima. While many conservative synagogues are in decline, Bethel is flourishing. This year alone, we welcomed over 30 new families, bringing our total to over 600 households. We will always be grateful to those who founded this synagogue and who sustained it with their generosity, but we cannot rest on their laurels, and there are challenges ahead. Many of our newer members are not as affluent as some of our distinguished older members, and many of the children and grandchildren of our anchor families are less involved in Bethel than their grandparents or their parents had been. We must work even harder to reach this next generation and ensure that we have the financial resources to support these new families. Although I am grateful for every dollar that is in our endowment, it currently holds around $3 million, and our annual budget is around $2.7 million. It simply is not enough money to ensure Bethel's future. Our beautiful campus requires constant maintenance and renovations. As many of you know, I live on a sailboat, so I'm all too familiar with maintenance costs, but even boats are easier to maintain than synagogues. Security is another significant expense. In today's world, it costs a fortune to keep our campus safe. Bethel's magic is its warmth and its ambition, and our rabbis model this for us every day. But they would like to do even more in education and programming. We need to give them the resources to educate, inspire, and delight our children, and to educate, inspire, and to delight us. As I mentioned, I was born in Massachusetts, so I'm compelled to channel President John F. Kennedy, but don't worry, I've been gone far too long to even try to attempt his accent. I am not here tonight to say, ask not what your synagogue can do for you, ask what can you do for your synagogue. No, tonight I ask both. What can Bethel do for you, and how can you help Bethel? Bethel is here for you, literally every day. Sam and the Minyoneers gather in worship. They are the heart of this congregation. Bethel is here for your family simchas and in times of sorrow. Our rabbis in this community offer unwavering support, and if you haven't experienced it yet, I assure you it is here for you. Our Viterbi Torah School is back in session, providing our children with an engaging and powerful Jewish education. Our Women's Connection brings vitality to the synagogue throughout the year. Our Shabbos and holiday services are full of meaning, music, and comfort, and we're all blessed to pray in the beautiful stone sanctuary. We have a teen band, an adult band, a Tikkun alum group led by Devorah that makes us proud, and we have Beit adult learning program, which inspires us to be better Jews and to be better people. We have a Chai group, a newly formed men's group, even a meditation group where weekly even my mind is quieted a bit. There's truly something here for everyone. So tonight, I ask you, if you've been involved, get more involved. If you haven't been involved, step up and become involved. Don't do it out of guilt. Do it because your life will be better for it. As the Talmud says, just do it. We Jews are still here miraculously because of our values and wisdom and eternal connection with God and with each other. Make friends here. I know firsthand that friendships at Bethel can enrich and transform your life, regardless of age or station. I implore you, everyone here, to make at least one new friend at Bethel this year. If you'd like to help us double the endowment so that Bethel will continue thriving for generations, please see me. Anytime. If you've already made a legacy commitment, ensure it's secured, and please speak with Michael Weiner, who will be leading an effort to make sure that all intended gifts are papered correctly. If you've been generous in your yearly giving, please make an even more generous gift tonight. If you haven't had the means before, but do so now, tonight is the time. With our shared commitment model, we never allow financial considerations to get in the way of being a member of this community, and we don't pry into our members' finances. But I remind you all here tonight that it costs $3,985 per household to operate this synagogue, and many of our members simply can't afford this cost. I assure you, that the board and the staff is careful with every dollar entrusted to us. This holy night marks a spiritual and personal accounting that each of us must make. I ask you to please reflect on what Bethel means to you and your families, your priorities, your Jewish souls. I know many in this room who give so much of their time and resources to making this city, this state, this country, Israel, and the world better. But remember, as another Massachusetts once said, Tip O'Neill, all politics is local. Listen, out there, the world is fractured. In here, we are united. Pro-Semitism begins right here, and it's essential right now. Bethel is local. In a fractured world, let us model what a healthy, vibrant Jewish community looks like right here, right now at Bethel. We need each other. We need you. We need a strong Bethel. Bethel in English means house of God. Sharing your generosity builds this house of God. This is the time to become the best Jews we can be, the best Bethel members we can be, and the best Bethel, the best synagogue we've ever been. Shana Tova, and thank you all.